Hey, Lakeland, welcome to this PJ Sunday. This is a fun Sunday because I know you're sitting back and relaxing, but this one's going to be different and unique, and I'm super excited to do this in a different type of a format. And so what we're doing is we're taking this week to kind of look back at God's faithfulness and what God did in people's lives in 2025. And I'm trusting that the Lord did some amazing things in your life, but also here's what I find often happens. When I hear of what God is doing in others, it inspires me to kind of lean in to my walk with the Lord and start believing that He's going to do those type of things in my life as well. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to look kind of chronologically through the year, some highlight moments and some highlight stories. And so it really starts with January. At the beginning of the year, here's one of the things that always happens. It's the first week of the year is our students, they go off to Blizzard and they have an amazing winter retreat, and it's outstanding. Kids always give their lives to Christ. Kids are rededicating their lives. But here's what's really cool is that while we know tons of kids' lives are being impacted, here's one of the things that we often don't think of when it comes to student ministry, but it's the adult lives that are often being also impacted and transformed and changed and challenged. And so one of the individuals whose life has really been kind of changed along the way, serving in our youth ministry, is a guy by the name of Brian. So go ahead, check out Brian's story.
My name is Brian White. I've been coming to Lakeland for about 5 years now. Last year for Blizzard, my wife asked me to be an adult leader because she knew that I've always wanted to impact youth in some capacity. So I begrudgingly said yes, I'll go. And while initially I was really excited to go to the winter camp and just be around a different environment, the second we arrived at the camp, the only thought that I could have was, I want to go home. And I just did not want to be there. I felt like I really didn't have anything in common with them. And, here I am, at the time, 44-year-old male trying to connect with a 16-year-old. We're on two complete different spectrums. And so that was really the thing that was holding me back from opening up. However, over the weekend, as, everything transpired, I just saw how God was working through these kids and how on fire they were for the word and for the Lord. And I just figured, if God is working through these children in this capacity, surely He can do the same for me. And so I opened up my eyes and opened up my heart as the weekend went on, and I just found myself wanting to be around the kids a lot more. I knew that I had a long journey ahead of me, but I'm always up for a good challenge, and I felt like God was calling me and challenging me to be a part of youth ministry. So I originally started with the junior boys, and it was kind of like a introduction to youth ministry, and we're going to ease you into this because I was with several other leaders. And so as time went on, I was pulled to the side and said, hey, we'd really like for you to lead the freshman boys with another leader. Would you be interested? And I said, absolutely, 100%, because this is exactly where I want to go. I want to lead these kids. And so now we're about half a semester into the school year, and we have been able to really connect with these young men in a way that I just really didn't think. And so in just a few days, we're about to take off for Blizzard again, January 2nd through the 4th. And I'm really, really excited to see what God has in store for us, and what changes He has made in me and how I can further impact the kids. And I'm excited to take on more of a leadership role. I would say follow your heart. And what I mean by that is, if you're being called, or you feel like you're being called to serve in the church in whatever capacity it may be, jump in, go for it, because this church is full of leaders who will surround you and lift you up and put you in a place where you need to be.
Isn't that an amazing story? And so that kind of was the beginning of the year. And then we had February and March. And in March, we rolled out Build. Build is our 2-year generosity initiative in which we're aiming to build for the next generation, build for our community, and build for the future. And what's always amazing in a generosity initiative, and we don't always hear it, but we know that this is a big part of the whole equation, is that God is working in people's lives. He's stretching us beyond what we thought was possible in terms of our generosity and trusting him and how's he going to show up. And so I love it when we hear stories later from people going, this was such a growth moment for my life as I stepped into this. And so just to hear one of those stories, check this out. Listen to the story from the Thielens.
We're Ben and Martha Thielen, and we have been going to Lakeland for 12 or 13 years, and we've been a part of 4 building campaigns. In previous campaigns, it's always been God sort of giving me a number, I guess. We would pray separately, talk about it together, and it always seemed to be like, I got the number first. We'd end up, following that in obedience every time. There's not been a time when we haven't, but for Build, I didn't get a number. We went to the initial discussion where they talked about Build, and both were excited about it, and I just got no number. Up until the Sunday that it was time to turn into commitment cards, I had no number at all.
Yeah, probably for a week, I was praying about it and got a number, and it was something. And I had to re-give back everything to God. So my business, our family, our finances, and kind of this is yours.
And I didn't know that he'd been thinking about the number he was. And so I found out when we were filling out the form in church. But because God had given him the number, I automatically just said, yep, whatever it is. And it was so significant compared to what it had been before that I just thought it has to be God. And it was during the lean time of the year, and we didn't have contracts, and we didn't know necessarily where the money was going to come to keep running our business. And it's like that every year because of the nature of our business. But after we turned in the number, when we started looking at how this would happen and what we needed to do to sort of accomplish what God had called us to, I also started thinking in terms of first fruits and how cool it would be if we could get it done out of the first fruits of what we had and got in terms of work and contracts that year. And as we were just sort of thinking through that and working through that, God just started providing for our needs in order to do what he'd called us to do.
It's within a few weeks after we took that step and kind of re-gave everything back to God, there was a couple of quotes I put out there months before that I was just whatever, can't water under the bridge. They came back through, and
it was those contracts that enabled us to be able to do the first fruits and give him the first fruits. Those are the contracts that we'd basically given up on, were the ones that gave us that extra that allowed us to do what we felt like we were called to do.
Because it felt like completion. God said, do this. We did that. And then it was oh, that's how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of seeing the big picture, when you back up from something that's out of focus, and then you take 10 steps back and it becomes clear. And
yeah, it's been really cool to take it beyond, okay, here's our tithe, here's an occasional offering, to really make really conscious decisions together as a family, and push ourselves. It's been really cool to see how God works.
Man, isn't that amazing? I love that story. And now, as we continued into the year, here's the really cool thing. In April, we had Easter, but we also had baptisms. And one of my favorite things about baptisms is hearing people's stories, and we get to hear a lot of them behind the scenes. But here's one guy's story that actually began in 2025, coming to the church, baptism, all the way into groups. What an amazing story as a whole on how all these things work together. Check out Brandon's story.
My name is Brandon Haskins. I've been coming to Lakeland since January of this year. What brought me to my faith was a very hard time. I had a serious drinking problem, and I lost my house and had 3 days to move my entire house, and no one to help me. None of my family helped. And one of my friend's dads showed up out of the blue, and he's like, I heard you needed help. And he took off a week of work to help me move. And at the end, he's like, you should come to church with me. He's like, I know that's what you need. And then I came here, and that's where it all started. After the baptism, my faith journey, I would say it just grew like very rapidly. That's when I started doing the discipleship pathway, and I completed all the online things in like an hour. And I think that's when Michael reached out to me and, you know, kind of pushed me or pulled me in to take it to the next step. I have been leading the God Experiment for 3 or 4 months now. I think the biggest reward from that would be the fellowship, meeting new people, watching people new to their faith grow in their faith, and just seeing the impact that a simple conversation can have. To act as a group in a whole, it's definitely a different sense of reward, like mentally, just knowing that you're doing it all together, because it is such a different feeling doing it with a bunch of people. Leading a group helped me grow in my faith for the rocky times where I feel distant and I don't want to go to group per se, and I end up going anyways. I never regret it. I could not have ever imagined that just one simple thing could change my life at the snap of a finger. If you haven't given a group a shot, I would just say do it. Even if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I would definitely recommend doing it. Basically, if I had one thing to tell everybody, it would be to come as you are, no matter who you are, no matter how you are, and just watch the change happen.
Okay, so then end of summer, Jason is preaching, and sometimes you have these like kind of one-liner moments in a message. Actually, Jason has quite a few one-liner moments in his messages. He is awesome at them. But he dropped a one-liner that actually we've heard so many stories from this one line. Like, people have quoted it over and over and over again. Some people's lives have been changed by something as simple as a one-liner. And so I just want you to check out this story from Jen of a line that has transformed her life this year.
My name is Jennifer Bush, and I've been coming to Lakeland for about 14 years. I've always wanted to be a teacher. As long as I can remember, that's what I went to college for. So I was a parapro for 14 years at Jackson Elementary. Loved every minute of it. Last couple years, I'd talked about going back to get my master's degree, and pushed it off. And I come to church and hear Pastor Jason's message.
Right. The question of what if demands that you have a plan and an answer. But I've worked really hard over the years, because I struggle with worry consistently, is to turn the what if question into an even if question. So instead of going, man, like, what if this happens? What if life goes this way? What if life goes that way? I've trained myself to not say what if, because it demands I answer. I've trained myself to say, even if that happens, then God can still do this.
The thing that really stuck with Pastor Jason's message, and I use it now, that's kind of like my little theme as a teacher, is not if, but even if. Before Pastor Jason's message, I had some real apprehensions about going back to teach. Later in that week, I got a phone call from our director asking if I would like to interview for an open special ed job. So after lots of praying, lots of talking to Pastor Jason, lots of talking to my husband and a few of my friends, and just really digging into what obedience meant, I took the job as a spec ed teacher out at Tibbetts. So now it's been 3 months. I've been in the classroom. I love every minute of it. I think in this job, in the last 3 months, I've had more tears of joy than tears of sadness or worry about how things are going to go. Obedience is hard, no matter what level of faith you have, because we're all humans. You know, God has given us a brain. He's given us a heart. We know what we should be doing. But there's also that worldly piece that stands in there that's saying, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should do this instead. Or your friends that you listen to that, well, maybe this would be better for you. When really deep in your heart, if you spend time with God, if you follow what he says, if you follow in obedience, he's gonna pull you through what needs to be done. He's gonna show you the way. This journey has totally changed the way I've view and trust God, because I found that by trusting him, he has led me in the right direction. He has led me to where I feel like I'm supposed to be. I know God will be there to lead me down that path and help me grow in the role I'm in right now. And there are things that you notice, like for me it was, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but I'm gonna do the interview. And if it doesn't work out, okay, I wasn't ready for it, but I took the step. And I think that's what I would tell somebody. You have to want to take that first step. You can't just think, oh, this sounds like fun. You've got to be invested. You've got to be invested to follow what God has led you on the path for.
So Lakeland, one of the next parts of our journey that has been incredibly exciting for us here is actually the arrival of Ramon and Astrid. So bringing a Latino pastor on our staff has been something that we've been dreaming about for years, and now to have it a reality has been really exciting. And so I just want to sit down with them and ask you guys some questions about what have we learned so far, what wins are we seeing, and kind of what's ahead. So let's just start with this conversation of like, what have you guys learned about the Latino population here at Lakeland? And let's start with that.
Well, we have learned a lot. Actually, the Latino population here is the same that in our countries.
Okay.
Latino people, so we love to be together in big groups. If you go to a supermarket or to a mall, you can see the whole family, the aunt, the niece, the neighbor together. So here we see the same thing, and that's very beautiful.
Yeah, so they're always together in large groups. So what has been, what's been exciting for you so far as you've started to reach, care for the Latino population here at Lakeland and in our community? What's been exciting?
The first thing is that some members of the family, they speak English and Spanish, but some of them only Spanish.
Okay.
So that's new for us because we're thinking that maybe they just speak one language. So both languages are like in the whole family.
You're right.
And I think it's very beautiful and an opportunity for us that here in the church, they can speak or share in both languages as well.
Yeah.
And too, many Latinos don't speak English. It's very weird, but it's really in the culture. Live here for 20 and 30 years and don't speak English, only speak Spanish. So it's a great opportunity for help us.
Yeah, and what we've been discovering, though, is many of them have family members who do speak English. Yeah. So you've kind of got, because the Latino family moves as a family unit, and many do speak English, and some may only speak Spanish. Our opportunity, it seems like what we're stepping into is this opportunity to have this blended experience of English and Spanish. So as you leave, even Ramon, share a little bit about when we first talked, I mean, this is like a year ago, what was exciting to you when we talked about how can we blend the English culture and the Spanish culture together?
Yeah, I think the most important is the unity of the church.
Yeah.
So for many times, is all different. It's one experience here, other experience here, but the Latino need feel I belong here.
Yes.
So all the time, the community need stay in the church, say welcome. I feel welcome.
To feel welcome,
Yeah, feel welcome. So I love this vision of the church. Stay in the same experience with unity for love God and worship together.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to add anything to that?
Oh, that's very beautiful that this is in our hearts. This is a desire from many years ago that the church can embrace both communities as one.
Yeah.
And it's happening here.
Yeah.
So thank you for the opportunity. Thanks to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
for
And I've
bringing us here.
always said, I think the church should be a reflection of the community.
Yeah.
And our community is this English and Spanish speaking culture. And so how do we blend that together? And that's something that we're trailblazing into together and trying to figure it out. And we're even developing more tools and trying some translation stuff to make it so that families can really worship collectively together. But share one story, just one story of some wins, because you have really a lot of people that you've met with and that you've encountered and started to help them in their journey, but share just one.
Yeah. I have a history for one person here. He born here, but he's the family Latino. He's from Mexico. So for many times grow in two cultures. And so now he's married with American. And it's amazing. But in the family, the language is complicated. So speak Spanish a little, but more English. And this moment, he don't feel comfortable about the teach sons speak English. So the culture is very, very special. So coming to the church and hear about the unity of the service and feel, okay, I have friends Latino here too. Oh, it's great. And the Latino need to feel the hug and need the food.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
So we invite him, and he was thinking, oh, I don't know these people, no? They invite me to their home. So he think, oh, that's only an hour. What will happen in an hour?
Yeah,
Because he was saying that all the time, his mother, she's always saying, you need to practice your Spanish. You are losing your Spanish. So he thought maybe I can practice my Spanish. So he's attending our small groups, and he's so nice, and we are very grateful for his life and for his family, because he attends here with his sons too.
That's awesome. And I love how you guys really have jumped in kind of both feet in terms of you're leading multiple groups now, kind of this bilingual experience, right? But it's been really cool to see how this has opened the doors for many of the Latinos at Lakeland to feel like they have a place in a greater way than they've had before, and ownership of the church and a place of connection. Yeah. And so I just think this is one of the greatest. I think we're on the start of some beautiful things as we continue to kind of build out what does this look like for our English and our Spanish-speaking communities to kind of mesh together.
Yeah. And some Americans are asking if they can attend, if they can learn Spanish. So that's beautiful too.
Yeah, it really is. So, well, thrilled that you guys are here. And so I would say this to everyone who might be watching. If you haven't met Ramon and Astrid, definitely stop them on a Sunday morning and say hello, or Thursday night, and talk with them, get to know them better, because you're a gift to us. And I just think this is going to be such a fun journey for us as we continue ahead.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Then after that, we headed into We the Church, which was this series about how can we work together. And we've had these events throughout the year now where we're collectively working with other churches right here in our area. And one of those events that we did was the teacher event, where 7 churches right here in our county served our local teachers and wanted to support them. And if you missed this video earlier, just celebrating that, go ahead and check it out. Today I'm really excited because we are going to be right now just honoring and thanking those of you who work in education. We're so grateful for all that you do in kids' lives, and we want to pray a blessing over you today.
Dear God, we thank you for the men and women who walk into classrooms and hallways carrying more than lesson plans.
Father, they carry hope, care, patience, and a vision for what students can become.
When their efforts go unnoticed, remind them that you see every small act of love that they display to their students. Let them see glimpses of the fruit of their labor.
Father, thank you so much for what you're doing in our midst with this next generation. We are very hopeful. We're excited.
And when the days feel long, may they not grow weary in doing good, for at the right time, their faithfulness will bear fruit. We pray this in Jesus' name, and all God's people said, amen. And what's really cool is that out of an event like that, teachers are being impacted. Here's just two who are talking about the impact that they've seen through an event like that teacher event. Here's Kathy and Rachel. Check out their story.
My name is Kathy Long. I've been coming to Lakeland for about 2 years, maybe a little longer.
I'm Rachel Coombs, and I've been coming the same amount, 3 years.
As a teacher, it felt really great. I did do this 2 years ago, the first time you did it, and I was very surprised because you don't usually get that from a church. It's not usually a church-school connection there. But honestly, in the last 2 years, I've seen so many church-school connections coming from Lakeland and the community.
Yeah, same. It was really surprising, but also in a super good way. And I made a lot of connections at our own school just because they knew about it. They came to service. We passed out the flyers that came, so made a lot of connections at our own school.
Yeah, and this year there were 6 or 7 of us that came on the Thursday night service for it, so it was great. I think that says a lot to teachers because, once again, you don't really see that from the community. You see it within the school, and from the PTSO, they're always doing, great things for teachers. But then all of a sudden it's a community thing, and I really think that feels good for teachers. It's a sense of gratitude and pride.
Yeah, I know when I talked to people about it, they were like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe your church is doing that. And then when I said it was all churches, you could go to any church in the area, they were shocked and really amazed.
It feels kind of heartfelt. Like it just gives you that warm joy that the community came together like that, the community of churches.
Yeah.
Walking into that environment was wonderful. That night, I just happened to have a few former students here also, which I see here every now and then, but just to have them here that night. And when it was over, she came up to me and she said, when we were thinking about the teacher that made a difference in your life, you were that teacher to me, which of course made me cry. But it was just a special night.
I think that's just so empowering too, because the beginning of the school year comes with so many nerves and so many things that you have to think about and plan for, and just have everybody kind of pray over you, and it's just a peaceful, empowering thing. I cried.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a sense of peace. It's these big moments coming, and then all of a sudden you feel this wave of peace come over you. So it was very nice.
Josh mentioned that as parents, sometimes we go through seasons where we have hard times with our kids in general. And I have 4. She's my mom, so I'm sure she's had some hard seasons, or 1 or 2 at least,
a couple.
But I think when he said it's so nice to know that they have a teacher that has their back, and when you are not always at your best, they are always trying to be their best. And cry, but I think that's just really hit me hard. So
yeah, and that's impactful for a teacher. That's the big thing for a teacher, is making a difference in someone's life. So.
Next, we had this amazing event that took place across Southeast Wisconsin, as tons of churches came together and we all baptized on the same weekend. Man, if you missed this story and this video from earlier, check it out. I love that video, just seeing all those baptisms. And what's really cool is that God has been doing such amazing things here at Lakeland, not just obviously with all of the area-wide churches working together, but we've seen our numbers and our growth has continued to increase. And then baptisms. This is probably the year of the most number of baptisms that we've ever had. We had 142 people baptized here at Lakeland, which is awesome and something just really worth celebrating. And for all of those of you who took that step of taking your faith public, we're just still celebrating that with you. It was so cool to see. And then, of course, we ended the year with our Christmas Eve services. And what better way to kind of put a bow on the end of this video than just some highlight moments and some images from our Christmas Eve services. Check them out here. In Isaiah chapter 9, it actually, in this description of the coming Messiah, it says that the people living in deep darkness, a light has dawned. And then it goes on and says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. So in this picture of the coming Messiah, of Jesus' arrival, it likens it to light arriving on the scene. What a sweet year. 2025 was amazing. And now 2026 is ahead of us. In fact, next week, I'm going to be talking about how do we head into this year, 2026, just with the right mindset. And so as we kind of close out 2025, I pray that for you, this is a year that you're looking back as well and saying, wow, God was present. But here's the deal. God's always present in these moments, but he's also going to be present in the next moments. And so let's get ready for an amazing 2026. Thanks for celebrating and taking a look back with us. And now into 2026, we're praying that God would do immeasurably more than we could ask or imagine as we head into another amazing year here at Lakeland. We'll see you then.